Hey there, this is your pal Pally, and welcome back to Git Er Raid. Warlords of Draenor beta testing heats up with some Mythic mode bosses. So we got Tectus now, who likes to split up. So why not make him split up even more for Mythic? If you haven't watched my guide to this fight on Heroic, please take a look at that first, as I'll be referring to the mechanics in there a lot. As always, mechanics can change from the time a fight is beta tested to when it is actually released live. Fair warning, this will be a fairly short in terms of a guide, as the mechanic changes for Mythic are very straightforward. Essentially, every time you kill Tectus, or a piece of him, a hollowed heart of the mountain will be left that has many of the abilities of Tectus. It does not gain additional energy as their health percentage decreases like the regular pieces of Tectus. All this really does for the fight is prolongs the sections, and kind of forces you to deal with additional casts of Tectus's main mechanics until you can kill the hollowed core out when it starts doing tectonic upheaval. Again, if you push too hard on splitting him too quickly, you'll have a bunch of these cores up and it gets dicey. I don't have footage in particular of that part, as I had a really green group for this trial, and it didn't seem to last long. Next up, there is an important change for Mythic related to the ads that come out. Those ads will continue to come out even after you shatter Tectus once. So you just have to keep dealing with the Night Twisted Earth Wrappers and Night Twisted Berserkers. These must be tanked, so it almost makes me wonder if this forces you to do a 3-tank setup. 1 for ads, and 2 for dealing with the pieces of Tectus. I guess it will all depend on the amount of damage the ads do, and the boss of course. I would say as well that the ads are somewhat of a priority, because they can cause Tectus to gain stacks of accretion. And that brings us to our last point about Mythic, the accretion stacks. This was not that big of a deal for Heroic mode, but you really have to pay attention to it on Mythic. If you don't remember, basically this is a damage buff that Tectus can gain through various methods. If you damage him, he'll lose a stack. It's important because if his stacks are high, his upheavals will slaughter your raid. So all this really means is you need to split up your DPS to ensure that each piece of Tectus is not gaining serious stacks of this. For example, once you have Tectus split into the shards of the mountain, you'll need to split your DPS up and put a couple on ads, then split the rest in half for each shard. Although maybe you want to push one shard faster than the other to get 4 motes while you still have a shard up. Lots of options here, just see what's working for your group and don't forget about the cores. That's all for this guide on Tectus Mythic and Highmaul. Tanks, take on additional ads throughout the fight and watch your feet with the boss. Healers, be ready for upheavals as usual, and be ready to split focus on maybe 3 tanks instead of 2. DPS, be careful what your targets are per the raid strategy, whether it's ads, a shard, a mote, whatever, and don't forget about those leftover hollowed cores. Thanks for watching, and as always, please comment, like, and or subscribe to the video if you found it helpful, and have a good one!